Good evening, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Secretary of Ministry of Youth, Mr. Sari Sanjay Kumar, Co-Chair of Y20 Indonesia, Budi Sugandi and Michael Victor Sianipar, Vice Governor of Jakarta, Bapak Ahmad Riza Patria, and Secretary of the Provincial of Jakarta, Bapak Marullah. I also would like to mention some of our supporter, Bapak Haryanto Budiman, Ibu Arianti Safitri, Bapak Ibu Carmela Harsato, dan Ibu Retina Rosabai. And also I'd like to welcome warmly all the delegates of Y20 Indonesia 2022 in the city of Jakarta. Please, let's give us a warm welcome to everyone here. It is indeed an honor, privilege for us here in Jakarta to host this event. Indonesia is the G20 presidency, and of course, therefore, Jakarta is hosting U20 as well as the Y20. And the meeting of the youth has significant history and importance to our city. If we are talking about Indonesia, and allow me to share a little bit about our country. The country is of nations about 263 million people. That's the size of our populations. Stretching from the very west part to the east part is equivalent to London to Istanbul. That's how far it stretches. We have no less than 17,000 islands, no less than 400 spoken languages. And this is no dialects, this is languages, more than 400 languages, more than 700 ethnic groups. This is a nation that has been diverse and will always be diverse. But what's unique about this nation called Indonesia, if I may share here, in this city, about 100 years ago, 1928, the youth, and truly the youth, come together from all over the part of the country, decided to have an oath, just like what you will be having, a declaration, an oath declaring that we are one nation, and it's called Indonesia. And at that time, Indonesia is a rare name because everyone in these islands, they have their own tribal names. It's called Indonesia, and speaking one common language. When you decide to have one common language, what did happen? After 1928, 17 years later, we had independence. And if I may say, not many states across the globe agreed upon common language before independence. Imagine if these 400 spoken languages, more than 700 ethnic groups, did not decide on a common language. Whenever we have gathering, we will have translators on the back of the room. And our parliament will have translator on the back of the room, because we will have to have multiple languages. There is no majority languages spoken here in Indonesia. It was the youth that made a visionary move, and now we're enjoying that benefit. And Jakarta, still the home of that diversity. But I also would like to underline the importance of the other side of diversity. As much as we admire, as much as we value diversity, let's not overlook the importance of unity. Diversity is the blessing of God. We have been created in a diverse way. We all, Just like, look at this room. Everyone coming from different ethnicity, different nationality, different state. That's a blessing of God. But being united, decided to work together in a peaceful way, in a mature way, that's our decision. And therefore, as much as we value diversity, let's not forget the importance of unity, because that's what makes us different compared to others who fail to achieve unity. The fact that diversity is all over the world, but unity is not all over the world. Sometimes we're seeing nations, we're seeing countries unable to talk to each other, unable to be in the same room deciding about the future, talking about common challenge. And this message is even more important these days when we are seeing that peace of the world is threatened today. And I think the youth has an important role to play again and again. And what's interesting about the youth is that you have more tomorrows than yesterdays. For many of us, we may have more yesterdays than tomorrows, but you have more tomorrows than yesterdays. And being a youth, looking forward, youth always have a different slant at looking at the future. It is because two things. One, the youth always come up with something new, but also youth have minimum experience. Minimum experience means also minimum risk assessment. Sometimes when you see the youth are very courageous, doing something that is risky according to the older generation, it's because either they're very brave or they don't know the consequences. Okay? But if you look at the challenge of the world, we need the youth to make breakthrough. We need the youth to make actions that is different from the previous generations. So here in Jakarta, we would like to welcome all of you to discuss about the future, to discuss about the time that belongs to you. Because the future doesn't belong to us. The future belongs to you. And therefore, Jakarta would like to facilitate that and talk about difficult issues. Talk about things that in politics often being not overlooked, but decided not to be touched on because of various different reasons. But the youth has no reasons to not touch any issues. And we need the youth to come up with new ideas, new perspective, and tell us, those who are in office today, anywhere in the world, to look at new perspective that the youth are coming up. So here in Jakarta, we would like to facilitate that, and we're happy that the Y20 is taking place here in Jakarta and as well as in Bandung. And the message about unity, the message about diversity is very much the message about us here in our city. The city is about 11 million people. With its surrounding, we have around 35 million people, Jakarta and its surrounding. This is the largest megapolitan in the southern hemisphere. And given that diversity, we have experienced stability, we have experienced collaborative work among all sides of the society. And that requires a lot of work behind the scene. Just like when we are having this dinner tonight, everything is well prepared. But if you come here 6 hours earlier, it was so busy room with everybody preparing everything. The work behind the scene is often overlooked. So for the youth, the message is, let's not only focus on those who are doing things on the stage, but let's remember, behind everything that is happening on the stage, there are people working behind the stage that make sure the good things are happening. And that's the part that the youth will also need to take responsibility upon. Just like this event, as I'm speaking, people listening to me, and it looks like the most important is the governor. Actually, not the governor. The most important person in this particular moment is the one who manages the sound system. Okay? If that guy decided to turn off the sound system, immediately the party is over. Done. Boom. Okay? Look, we like to play important role, but let's not only focus about roles that is on the stage, that is looked by a lot of people. So many important roles, so many important aspects is done behind the scene. And I remember, this is a message also for the youth. I remember reading Stanislavski. Stanislavski is a writer from Russia, and he was once wrote that, for me, this is what he wrote, the important things is about the actor, it's not about the role. If we, the youth, focus on empowering ourselves to be a powerful actors, to be a competent actors, you can play any roles. But sometimes we were too focused on having certain roles. In organizations, you would like to be the chairman, you would like to be the chairwoman. Those are roles. The chairwoman, the chairman can change. But if we focus on the quality of the person, of the actor, you can change roles and you can always have significant impact to the society. I think the youth need to focus on that. And I do hope that your meeting here in Jakarta, the Y20, is enabling you to have that access, to build network, to have mutual learning, and at the end, it will increase, it will improve the capacity of oneself, especially the youth who are participating in this forum. So with that, I'd like again to welcome all of you, and I do hope that the visit in Jakarta, the stay in Jakarta is a memorable one, and I hope you have the opportunity to visit some of the sites in our city, be the sites that reflect diversity, be the site that reflects history, be the site that reflects modernity, because the city is about 495 years old, so we're almost 500 years old city. We have a long history, but also we have more history to make in the future, so you can look at all of that aspect. So again, welcome to Jakarta, enjoy Jakarta, and I hope you have a good dinner tonight, a good networking sessions, and wish you all the best along the summit. Thank you.
Thank you, Bapak Anies Baswedan. Please.